Technoblade is the best character on the Dream SMP. He's kind and he follows the karmatic justice rule, which is a rule that I really appreciate in characters. However, Technoblade is not a happy character. His backstory and current affairs are laced with sadness and desperation. So, let's fully explore Technoblade's tragic truth. By the way, as of the time of recording this, thank you all so much for 3,000 subscribers. This is insane. Let's head for 4,000. No, but seriously, thanks to everyone who subscribed and is currently supporting me. This is a dream come true. Thank you all so much. Although Technoblade's origins are mostly unknown, we do know a few things. He was a warrior at some point, which we'll talk about later how I think that the Skywars are canon. He doesn't have any parents. Now, I do think he doesn't have a mother, but he specifically stated several times that his parents were killed by orphans, and that's why he hates orphans so much. I did make a theory saying that J-Schlatt was Technoblade's father, and although I think that does fit into the lore, that kind of disproves it, but yet again, it was just a theory, it wasn't, fact or proof. We also know that he was possibly created unnaturally, possibly in some kind of laboratory, or maybe created by magic, and Techno and Dream somehow knew each other beforehand. So now that we know some of the very rare facts about Technoblade's early life, let's figure out what actually happened with his timeline. Another issue with Technoblade's timeline is the fact that we don't know his age. In the Dream SMP, it was stated that Technoblade, Philza, and Wilbur and Tommy all knew each other, but Technoblade, Wilbur, and Tommy were all children, they were all young. But that doesn't make any sense, because Wilbur is, believe it or not, canonically 41 years old, and Tommy I'm pretty sure is his real life age, which is 16. Technoblade's age is unknown. He said that he's 21, he said that he's older, he said he's younger, so I don't think they knew each other when they were young, because it would have been very different ages. But let's just say at a young age he trained with his friends, whoever they were. Then eventually he became, as a teen, he decided to join the army. Now, the Dream SMP is canonically a country, which means it could be a big country, but it could also be a country, so that means there are other countries out there. My theory is that Technoblade grew up on a country called Hypixel. There was a civil war going on in Hypixel, so he was sent out to Blitz, which is the Hunger Games, which is the actual war. Technoblade dominated at Blitz, and became well known throughout the community. Eventually, after a long hard war, it was over. He could be free, and everyone could be happy again. However, the rich people of the world were like, that was too fun to watch. Let's fabricate another war so that we can see Technoblade fight again, and all of these other legendary heroes. Now, we'll discuss the final timeline of that a little bit later, but right now let's skip forward to when Technoblade leaves Hypixel. Technoblade then meets a young adventurer called Dream. They decide to adventure together for a while, adventuring, destroying, but Techno can't get the voices of war out of his head, as they all want blood for the blood god. After a few months of traveling, Dream one day finds a mask, the Dreamin' King mask. After putting it on, Dream loses himself, as he is fused with the Dreamin' King. Dream and Technoblade then have a fight. A duel, if you will. Technoblade, although heavily injured, wins and flees. As he slowly dies in the cold, someone finds him, Philza. Philza then helps Technoblade to regain his humanity, to forget about the voices, and to be himself once more, before the war. Dream is then hunted down by these people called the Dreamin' Hunters, until eventually, either by his wicked charm or some sort of magic, he convinces them to stop hunting him. And they found the Dream SMP. So now that we have a basic timeline of Technoblade, well, let's explore his actual tragic character. Techno means well, even after seeing governments doing everything, Hypixel and doing that and causing, blitz wars and all this and doing it all for money. He hates governments, he despises them, and he thinks they do nothing but bad stuff, which is kind of true. Technoblade is far too trusting. He trusts everyone who comes for his help, and even when he says he doesn't, eventually he will cave. Technoblade is also incredibly helpful. He loves to help people out. I mean, look at the Pogtopia vs Manberg war. He got them so much gear, and he does it all because they are his friends, and he knows that if they win, they can take down a government. Although he likes to say, oh, I'm not going to be friends with you unless we take down a government, I think he's a nice person in general, but he's been screwed over by life in almost every way possible. He's constantly used and spat out. He was used in Hypixel, and now he's being used in the Dream SMP. His only friend is Filza. He's also never allowed to live in peace. He's either fighting wars or being hunted by the Butcher Army. He is constantly hunted. He was hunted by Dream, he was hunted by Sapnav, he was hunted by a lot of different people, and they've all come for his throat to try and kill him because he's the legendary blood god. He's always just trying to save his friends from the tyranny of the government, and the shit that he's seen is incredible. So that means he knows how bad governments can be and how they can corrupt people. He is also fighting against violent urges, which is a good thing. He's fighting against them, he's trying to ignore the voices, but everyone around him just keeps inciting the voices and inciting his violence. Like, they're trying to make him react and be violent when he's trying to ignore them. He's probably been treated like a monster or a warrior his whole life, which is why I think that one line where he goes, people are above the government, and he screams, but I'm a person. I'm a person, Tommy. I think that has like a really deep lore significance that I don't think anyone's really realized yet. I think this suggests that he's been treated like a monster his whole life, or as a tool. I mean, as soon as Technoblade joined, he was used by Tommy. He then spent months getting gears for the Pogtopia vs Manberg war, but then he was just abandoned, and then demonized for his reaction, which, although it was very explodey, it was kind of justified. He tried to prove a point, but Tommy can't even learn anymore. He's so stubborn. He is then hunted down and executed by the Butcher Army, and yet he still survives, and he still escapes, and he's still trying to live his best life. His best friend Filza is attacked, and all he wants is revenge. He obliterates Manberg, and finally, he's left alone. But even then, he isn't. People are still going to try and kill him. All he's done is try and help his friends, as he's seen the horrors of governments and war, had his friends and pets threatened, and he's fought against the evilest of characters and saved Tommy in it so many times, and yet he betrays him. What will happen? Indeed. This is a question that everyone is asking in the Dream SMP constantly. What will happen next? How will it happen? But I'm very interested in what will happen to Technoblade. The Egg might try to control Technoblade as he is the most powerful character on the Dream SMP. Not the strongest, but the most powerful. Dream could try and use Techno to help him escape, or he could try and use him to kill someone like Tommy in it, or Tubbo. Quackity could try and kill Filza or Techno once again. Or Technoblade could go insane and attack via the voices. Here are some miscellaneous theories that I couldn't really fit into the main structure of this video, although stick around because the Skywars Timeline is coming up. So what is Technoblade? Is he a man in a pig mask? Is he a pig man? Or is he a pig-human hybrid? I think he's a pig man specifically, but there is not super much evidence. I'm pretty sure he has stated that he likes to be the pig man. Technoblade's powers. Is Technoblade immortal? Is he a blood god? Does that mean anything, or is he just a man-made god? There was a theory on the Iceberg video I stated that cultists gave him his powers by canon-deathing themselves in the name of the blood god, which is why the voices say blood for the blood god. Technoblade's possible origins include possibly something to do with Theseus. J-Schlatt's son still kind of fits into the lore somehow. Someone pointed out that Nikki and Technoblade could be brother and sister somehow, which would make that Nikki is J-Schlatt's daughter and Technoblade is J-Schlatt's son, which could also make sense. But yes, there are some holes in the theory, but yet again, it's just a theory, it's not fact. Finally, the Skywars Timeline to fully figure out the timeline of what happened on Hypixel. Technoblade left his home off to fight for his country. He began fighting in Blitz, and he was an amazing warrior. After the war, Technoblade retired and studied philosophy, just like how he did in real life. Eventually, the higher-ups decided to fabricate a fake war for profit and entertainment. Technoblade returned to fight in the Sky Wars and Bed Wars, which were the two fabricated wars. After some time, the ruler Hypixel gained a liking to Technoblade. Technos swept through Skywars and Bed Wars and became known as the Blood God. Eventually, a ritualist cult sacrificed themselves to give him infinite power. After years, Technoblade realized what was happening and quit, disgusted by the government, and became a farmer. Eventually, he became the #1 potato farmer in the whole world. However, Technoblade could not rest, for the voices were in his head. Eventually, he returned to Skywars and Bed Wars for one thing: to kill Hypixel. After getting an insane win streak, he was rewarded with a one-on-one battle with Hypixel. And then he won, killing him. He then left, heading for the rest of the world. And that is the Skywars Timeline. In conclusion, Technoblade is a character that has been through war and hardship, and all he ever does is try to be the best version of himself. He cares for his pets and his people, he loves just peace and prosperity, and it's only because of the voices he is still violent. Everything happens to him, he never insinuates anything. He never begins a fight, he is always the retaliator. And that was the deep dive into Technoblade's character. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yet again, thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. This is insane. Poggers. And yeah, I guess this could technically count as my 3K special. So subscribe to be a part of the anomalies. And for those who are already subscribed, my anomalies, I'll see you in the next video. If I don't see you there, I'll see you on the flip side. If I don't see you there, I fucked it up. Fuck, I fucked it up. Okay, let's try this again. My anomalies, I'll see you in the next video. If I don't see you there, I'll see you in the next life. If I don't see you there, I'll see you on the flip side. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you in the void. Bye bye.